One of the most inspiring success stories of the 20th century, coupled with one of the lowest rates of corruption in the world, is what defines today's Singapore. Singapore gained independence from Malaysia in 1965 after a merger between them had gone horribly wrong. The city state has fought a possible collapse to communism and economic uncertainty to become what it is today. But you can't chew gum in Singapore. Singaporeans were being provided with public housing apartments in the early 1980s. That's when the Minister of National Development proposed a ban on chewing gum to the then Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. Because chewing gum was causing maintenance problems in high rise public housing apartments, with vandals disposing of spent gum in mailboxes, inside keyholes, and on lift buttons. Chewing gum left on the ground, stairways, and pavements in public areas increased the cost of cleaning and damaged cleaning equipment. Gum stuck on the seats of public buses was also considered a problem. However, Lee thought that a ban would be too drastic. In 1987, Singapore launched its largest public project then, the Mass Rapid Transit or the MRT. The local railway system faced difficulties when it was reported that vandals had begun sticking chewing gum on the door sensors of MRT trains, preventing doors from functioning properly and causing disruption to train services. Such incidents were rare but costly and culprits were difficult to apprehend. In January 1992, Goh Chok Tong, who had just taken over as Prime Minister, decided on a ban. The restriction on the distribution of chewing gum was enacted in Singapore Statute Charter 57, the Control of Manufacture Act, which also governs the restriction of certain alcohol and tobacco products. After the ban was announced, the import of chewing gum was immediately halted. After a transition period allowing shops to clear existing stock, the sale of chewing gum was completely banned. When first introduced, the ban caused much controversy and some open defiance. Some people took the trouble of traveling to Johor Bahru, Malaysia to purchase chewing gum. Offenders were publicly named and shamed by the government to serve as a deterrent to other would-be smugglers. No black market for chewing gum ever emerged in Singapore, though some Singaporeans occasionally still managed to smuggle some chewing gum from Johor Bahru for their own consumption. In 1998, United States President Bill Clinton and Singapore Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong agreed to initiate talks between the two countries for a free bilateral trade agreement. The talks later continued under the new administration of President George W. Bush. By the final phase of negotiations in early 2003, there remained two unsolved issues: the war in Iraq and chewing gum. The Chicago-based William Wrigley Jr. enlisted the help of a Washington, D.C. lobbyist and of Illinois Congressman Phil Crane to get chewing gum on the agenda of United States-Singapore Free Trade Agreement. This caused a dilemma for the Singapore government. It recognized the health benefits of certain gums, such as a brand of sugar-free gum that contains calcium lactate to strengthen tooth enamel. Sale of this newly categorized medical gum was allowed provided it was sold by a dentist or pharmacist who must take down the names of the buyers. In 2003, the USS FTA was signed and the ban was revised. Some found it surprising that Wrigley had fought hard on this battle, given the small size of Singapore's chewing market, but the company said it was worth it. There are many examples in our history of things that may not have made short-term financial sense, but was the right thing to do in the philosophical or long-term sense, said Christopher Perel, Wrigley's Senior Director of Corporate Communications. What are your thoughts on Singapore's chewing gum ban? Comment them in the comment section. We come up with new videos every Thursday and Sunday. Feel free to follow our social media handles by clicking the link in the description. Subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.